What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to talk about the lines in northern blue tongue skinks to give you a little bit of idea on each one. So we started out more on the basic end. You know, you're going to have some northerns that are red, some are orange, some are more yellow, some are more black, and some are more white. So we'll start with red. Alright, so there's pretty much 4 red lines. There's an actual line called red line that we didn't add since you already got red up there. Then you got magma, fuego, and then coffee, which is more of a brownish with tints of red that we weren't exactly sure where to put it, so we put it by the red. And each line you're going to have different variabilities in the amount of red and the contrast of red, and if they have a red head, just a red body. Some of the lines have more deeper black, but in the end of the day, the best way to know, if you buy a red line, it might be more orangish versus red. If you buy a magma, it might end up more orange versus red, and that's where you get into litter variability. So say you breed 2 red together, you know, you might end up 75% of red. You got 25% that are reddish, maybe a more salmon red. And that's what makes it hard by going by just, alright, I want a magma line or I want a red line. You know, you might find one that's not that line, but that look that you like. So we'll go into oranges, and there's quite a bit in those, you know, that's been around for longer. You got the Fen Orange, Sunset, Orange Crush, Austin Orange, Swedish Line, Red Orange Amber, Orange Lava Burst, Hypo Sunset. And to give you a little insight on all of those, you know, Fen Orange was by James Fenn for we'll call it bold oranges. Sunset was by Andrew Psyche, and basically the oranges that he produced reminded him of a sunset, and those are actually siblings to his Sunrise line. The more yellow ones he decided to label Sunrise, and the more orange are Sunset. And the Austin Orange, that's a combination of Sunrise and Fen Orange and some of the other orange lines. The Swedish line was a line that was imported through a couple different breeders, that was produced by a Swedish breeder that might be the same as the Europe Fire Opal line, which we didn't add because if it ends up being the same, there's no point having both the same up there. So the ROA is the Red Orange Amber line by Ray Gerge, and that is a mix of Swedish and Sunset. The Orange Lava Burst, that is the line we started, where we basically tried to get rid of the black completely and have super orange. And what's, you know, good to note, because that's the line we have a lot of experience in, some of those are actually pretty red, and you know, we'll try to put a picture up here, Lucifer, showing some nice red with some red banding and no black. And then you got some other ones that are super orange. Some of our second generation ones are basically solid orange. And then the Hypo Sunset was by Ray Gerge, and that one's from like a hypo-ish animal to a sunset, and they got some like faded orangish going on. But same thing, like anything, you're going to have some variability where some of your Hypo Sunsets or whatever might look more classic and others look more high-end. Yellow, not a ton of people working with yellow. Main thing, you got a Sunrise. There's also a gold line, which is like goldish yellow. We didn't add because decided not to. And then black, you got dark line and pitch black line, which are similar. Pitch Black has been worked on by Diana Mason and Frank Payne, and Dark Line was originated by Rebecca. I'm not going to pronounce her last name right, so we'll just go with Rebecca out of Moonshine Reptiles. And then you got a couple different white lines. You got Turner White, Fen White, Gray and Black by Ray Gerke, which a lot of the ones I've seen look more white, so that's why we got it there. And then Great White by Vin Russo. And the Caramel and T Plus Caramel lines, we weren't sure exactly where to put those, because those are like grayish browny caramel, and so they went by the white for now. Then on the bottom you got classics, which there's nothing wrong with those, but the reason we put them on the bottom, you'll have some more reddish colored classics, more orange, yellow, pale, black, so on. But some of those, they don't hold their color the best. As they get older, they start to brown out. But those are great to mix and match and outcross with other lines. And that's another thing, like some of the stuff we work with, we'll put an animal here that's, we'll say, a mix with, you know, different orange lines. You can still produce orange animals. You can even get red animals from orange lines. That's what's nice, you know, you can outcross those orange line red animals with your, you know, red magma and make some killer red animals and still have, you know, good strong animals for the future. And that's, you know, so we had an outcrossing video, but we thought it would be beneficial to go over each line and tell you a little more about them. And we actually did a spreadsheet on all the lines and give you some information on them and some pictures on them also, so we'll put that in the description. I'm going to add a list. It's of some good breeders that work with certain lines if you're looking for a specific one. You know, a lot of the ones we work with, we outcross and don't work with straight, say straight sunrise or straight sunset, just to have a more diverse group, because I know some of the lines have been a little more inbred than others, whereas some breeders will do more line breeding. You know, they'll pick orange animal from this line and you know, a red animal from this line, and since they're pretty unrelated, they'll breed those together and it'll make for stronger babies than versus doing, you know, a straight sunset to a pure sunset to make pure sunsets. At that, you know, you could be 6th generation inbred without even knowing. So that's why, you know, it's good to buy from great breeders. You know, try to find out more on those lines they work with, the animals they work with, and, you know, in the end, work with what you like. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for stopping by. Like and subscribe.